Right then. A lot of people asking me, how do I feed the dogs? Right, what do they get? Right. So, in the pressure cooker, which is there, pressure cooker tops, cook 3 chicken carcasses that have had the breasts and the legs removed, right? And you get different levels of carcass in Thailand. You get ones where they stripped all the meat off and there's literally just bone left and a little bit of neck and a chicken's arse, which is there, right? The parson's nose. And then you get ones different grades, and the best one is CP, which is most people know is a big name in Thailand. It's a big conglomerate, right? So I'll try that one if I can. It's more expensive by about sometimes 70 baht, but that's like about 70 baht's about £2. But you get, Jesus Christ, man, you get a lot of meat on it. It's big carcasses, and they leave a lot of the insides in, the heart and liver and things like that. You know what I mean? So if you're lucky, but at the end of the day, you get 10 kilos in the bag anyway, so you just get more meat of your 10 kilos. There's people who are just stupid and they'll just buy the cheapest one, but they end up with just 10 kilos of bone of the carcass, just the bone of the carcass. What's the point? It's crazy. You just ended up giving your dogs bone, or even people bone, because also people cut chicken carcass up and sell it on the street, barbecued. You know what I mean? So people do buy it. So anyway, so I cook 3 of those right in a pressure cooker, so they're soft, and then I smash them up with this knife on here. Great big tree. Boom, 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 right there. Get it all cut up small into small bits, and the reason is why you do it for small bits is if you leave big bits in there, any dog, well, most 30% of these dogs will pick a bone up and walk away with it, because it's naturally that's what they'll do. Oh, I've got a bone, I'm going away with it, right? I mean, what happens is another dog will just come and start eating their dinner, and when they come back to their dinner, it's gone, right? So you can't have that, right? So put the 3 chicken carcasses that we've smashed up with it, which are cut up, right, and put it in with a big pot, with this pot of rice, right, for a rice cooker, 6 scoops of rice, right. And I have good rice, not the best, but it's medium, because it cooks quickly and it's soft, and I can eat it as well, right. That may change when I go. I might put a bit of powder, right. I'll put a bit of that powder in, right. Right, this is like a noodle soup powder. Put a bit of that in for a bit of flavour, which I think does matter, That's pretty much it. And the thing is, that comes out very hot, right? And also there's a soup. There's a soup left over. Obviously, when you cook the chicken, there's a soup in the pressure cooker. So you leave that, right, on the night when I do it, because I've done that last night, right? I don't... everything's done in a day in arrears. And then what you do, you end up with a soup, right, which sometimes I put into bags, right? But then you scoop off the top, and that's all the oil. And it's a bit of a process, but you end up with that. And that is basically chicken lard. Yeah. And since the Ukraine was invaded by the Russians, and the price of fuel went up, also the price of cooking oil went up. So we haven't bought oil since that day. I've been using that, right? And then, because another thing as well, they don't like it too oily. If you were to just get the chicken, if you were just to take that stock out and just put it in there, it would end up with a lot of oil in it, and they don't like it. Just like humans, when we make chicken soup, you take the oil off the top. It's a bit of a process, you know what I mean? And then there you go. So we'll see how they get on, right? I've tried to keep them right, and we've got how many bowls? We've got this one. Not necessarily this going to be, but in order of the dogs, that'll be Duck Dick, Namtan, Cygork, Scamp, the son of Duck Dick, and then we've got Wolfie, we've got Tau Cow, and we've got this white dog here, which I've called Patch, because he's got a patch on his eye. And we've got this new little dog, which I found at a local Buddhist temple, was being starved to death and it had parvovirus. So I've taken it in and it'll get the smallest one. Right, so here we go. Right. Scamp. And yeah, you can have that one. I'll try not to give him the biggest. Might actually give him that. So go. Alright. Look big. Look big. Come on. So I got. Scamp. So I got. Tan. And then we've got Wolfie. She's had an operation. Tan. And I must admit, I've changed. Yeah, so that's Wolfie's. She's not here at the moment. She's out lying out there. She's had the sterilisation operation. Yeah. What I used to do, and they are all eating it, I went against my girlfriend's idea. What I used to do was I would just give them the meat in there. I would give them 2 handfuls of meat and say, see ya, because some of these wouldn't eat rice. And then you'd have the rice left, so they wouldn't eat the rice on its own. But if I ever, when I used to just put the chicken carcass in the rice and mix it, they'd run off with the cones and they'd come back and somebody else is eating it. It was chaos, right? But now I've learned, you just, as long as you cut the meat up small, there's no bones in it. You know, there's small bones, but nothing they can pick up and run away with and think, oh, I'm having that. So yeah. It works. To think for 2 years, well, for a long, long time, I've been doing it my way, and I should have done it the girlfriend's way, but she wouldn't cut the bits up. I'm talking, I'll put a bit of effort in and cut the carcasses up into small bits. They had a little bit of meat earlier. I gave them what I did. I had some meat that I brought back. I chopped it up with some rice that was left over. And I made it into one of these bowls, but then I passed it round so they all had a little bit, you know. So, so there, she just took her head out to bite a bone. Now, normally, if you just put those indiscriminately, put a lump of meat in there with some bones, she'd just walk off with that bone. Like she'd come back and some of the dog is eating her food. Who doesn't do that? There we go. Feeding time. Hope they enjoy it. Seems to be. Okay, there we go. Feeding time. Done.